This is Good Morning San Diego.
New data shows that unemployment numbers have gone down, hitting at the lowest percentile since last May. Joining us now with a breakdown of the numbers and what they mean is employment attorney Annie Ellis. Annie, good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning, Jason.
Okay, so we have low unemployment. What might we attribute that to?
The biggest driving factor right now is healthcare. So we have a significant shortage in nursings. I think schools are struggling to get nurses out there, educated and passed and licensed. So an abundance of RN, registered nurse positions right now. I think factor that with the boomer generation is reaching that age where healthcare is now something that we're going to need to put a lot more into. That, and then we've also got the seasonal aspect. We're coming up on summer, so casinos, hotels, bars, they're all hiring like crazy. But we're losing jobs too. Manufacturing is a big one. Legal, which I'm still struggling with because I feel like I'm always busy, so why isn't everyone else? But no, I think that you've got advances in technology with AI and ChatGPT, and that might be impacting how much work is available. But what I found the most interesting about the numbers is, there's a lot of talk about the DOGE cuts, right?
Sure.
So 3% of San Diego's workforce has federal government jobs. We're not seeing the impact of those cuts or those layoffs yet because those folks are still on severance or paid administrative leave. So I think come fall, there could be a big spike in this number once those are factored into what we're looking at.
A spike in the number specifically?
Yeah, I think unemployment is going to go up because right now, even though these folks aren't technically employed because they're getting severance or some sort of longevity package, once that runs out, probably around September, I think is when most of the plans are going to pay through. Then we're going to see them apply for unemployment, which is typically how we get our unemployment numbers.
I see. Now, off camera, you said to me what you think is most interesting is the no tax on tips and overtime.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by this bill. So obviously everyone saw on the campaign trail that Trump was all about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It's a great tagline, but how do you put that into, actual reality? So we've got a bunch of competing bills right now, but the one that I think has the trajectory to do okay is the one that just passed the House, and now it's in the hands of the Senate. So the one big, beautiful bill. And we were laughing about who comes up with these names, right? A lot of questions. So, for example, there's going to be an income limit. So, if you're someone that earns overtime or earns tips or both, you could be eligible to do an above-the-line deduction to reduce your taxable income. But they're going to cap it at $160,000 a year for your earnings. So if you earn more than that, then you might not be eligible for these tax deductions. The biggest gaping hole that I saw is there going to be a limit? So let's say I work at a nightclub and I do pretty well. Maybe I'm making $90,000 a year, but half of that is in tips. Am I going to be able to deduct $45,000, 50% of my income? The Senate bill, the one that hasn't passed yet and is kind of behind the one big beautiful bill, has a $10,000 limit, but this one doesn't. So I think it's going to remain to be seen once it gets into the Senate hands. Are we going to have a cap, and what's that going to look like?
Okay, so once the Senate puts this to a vote, if it passes, but the Senate, as they've already said, when it goes to the Senate, they're going to do some tweaking of their own.
Oh yes, I think they're going to do more than tweaking.
Because you're talking about 50% versus 10%. That's a big gap.
And there's another big difference between the Senate's bill and this bill, and it's that the tax filer and their spouse, if they have one, have to have a valid work authorization Social Security number. And that appears to be designed to make sure that if you're here lawfully, you get the benefit. If you're not here lawfully, then you don't.
All right, Annie Ellis. Appreciate you breaking it down for us.
Thanks.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
All right. Let's see you soon. Thank you.